So it wouldn't be a lockdown week without a Cardiff Devils signing to brighten the mood a little. And I think this one every year always brightens the mood. I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Mark Richardson, who's back with the Cardiff Devils for another season. Mark, how are you? How are you coping? How's the family coping? And how good is it to be back again with the Devils?
Hi, John. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, doing all right, thank you. Obviously, in these strange times, we're trying to keep busy, and the family are doing all right. Bit of homeschooling going on, and stuff like that. So, no, we're doing okay, thank you. And obviously, it's great to be back with the Devils again, and to be speaking to you for another year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can imagine that's a pleasure. Just on the homeschooling, I can't believe I'm asking this in an interview. Did you say your wife does some teaching? Because I've got so much sympathy for teachers now. I love my son dearly, but the homeschooling's been a chore.
Well, no, she teaches Pilates, but she's also been roped into to maths as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I thought I'd leave that one to her.
Yeah, you're not taking over the maths duties, Mark, are you?
No, no, I'll leave that one to her.
Okay, moving on to ice hockey matters. You are back for another year. It's I hope you take this the right way. Sometimes maybe you're just take it for granted in the Devil shirt. You're always so good, so consistent, and we do see you playing some great hockey every year. But what I wanted to initially talk to you about was there was a couple of CHL games at home last year, particularly the Mountfield game, where for me, you gave one of the best performances I've ever seen of any player in a Cardiff Devils shirt. You seem to be really, really comfortable at CHL level last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of when we play those CHL games, they're usually the first kind of games that matter. Obviously you have the preseason games, and I think coming into those games, as a team that would be considered one of the lower leagues, in the competition, you've always got a point to prove. So there's that. And then, as I say, I mean, it's the first game where, actual points in any competition are up for grabs. So they're always fun. Um, and obviously that one last year against Mountfield was great to get that first win in the first game.
Um, Challenge Cup this year is going to go to a straight knockout competition. Of course, the Devils going to Sweden. Good thing or a bad thing? Does it give you kind of a puncher's chance of catching someone on a bad night? Do you prefer the experience of the group stages? What's your view on playing straight knockout hockey?
Um, I don't know. I think obviously it's a bit of a shame. Those trips. At that point in the season are usually really good for the team. It's just the guys get a chance to go away and play some good hockey, but also spend a lot of time together. So that's a bit of a shame. But obviously, we've beaten some big teams in the past. So maybe in a knockout format, as you say, maybe we catch someone on an off day. I mean, obviously the team we've drawn are going to be very good.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting, but as I say again, there'd be fun games, whatever the outcome.
Mark, we were just saying off camera, we do this interview every year. I'm always honored to talk to you. But what are you going to talk about this year? You've been part of the Cardiff Devils furniture for so long. We were fortunate to have you on recording of Behind the Bench podcast earlier in the week with the whole team from the 14-15 Challenge Cup. Just how do you chronicle your time with the Devils from coming in the old Wales National Ice Rink, big blue tents, now the new ownership and everything that's happened and winning trophies? It's been quite a journey.
It has. I mean, I think like obviously a lot of the fans and stuff I've seen a lot, but every year seems to be different kind of thing. I mean, I look back, I have some great memories. The early days in the Wales National Ice Rink there, and many great memories from the Big Blue Tent. You know, we made it kind of what it was,
Yeah.
and the atmosphere, and it was so much fun. There were some tough times, but even through those times, I can honestly say, like, I always enjoyed playing in that ring, playing for the Devils in those tough times. But now we move on to where we are, and it's still just, for me, it's just hockey, and it's just so much fun, and obviously the winning trophies is great, and I obviously hope that as a club we can keep doing that. But I mean, at the end of the day, just playing hockey and playing for the Devils is the fun part.
In terms of winning trophies and enjoying hockey, is it still a case at the moment of looking back on last year? Can you look forward to the new season yet? Obviously, it's great to announce your signing today, but in terms of, I suppose, your mental preparations, physical preparations, are you looking back or are you looking forward?
I mean, obviously, you always want to be looking forward. I think it's tough right now. I mean, in a normal situation, you would be looking at the date when you're going to be starting the season, but right now we don't really know when that's going to be. So, I mean, obviously, it's still I think in the back of our minds a little bit the way it ended last season. The position we were in for the league title run in there. But I think at the end of the day, we just have to look forward, and whether we start in October, November, we just have to look forward to that, and hopefully we can continue kind of where we left off in league play.
A couple of questions I wanted to ask you, which aren't quite so Devils centric, and as I say, we have done this a few years running. So just to give the fans an insight, there are some Devils fans who might not recall that you were a centre ice when you first signed for the Devils, and you came through Swindon, the Lynx, and the Bees. I remember you playing very well against the Devils, maybe in a BNL crossover. So you started as a centre ice. Do you kind of, is defense completely different position, or playing as a center, playing as a forward, has that allowed you to kind of get a head start as a defenseman at all? Is there any sort of overlap between the two? And does your defensive play benefit from the fact you used to be a forward?
Yeah, I think so a little bit. I mean, I was more of a defensive forward when I was playing center. Chipped a bit like I guess now on D. Chip in here and there with some points, but my main objective was to be responsible. Both ends of the rink, and I think that helped. I mean, the only real difference is a bit more backward skating, and you're kind of like the last line there before the goalie. But no, I guess, as I say, I was always a bit more defensive, and luckily for me, I was able to pick up the backward skating pretty quick. So it's kind of the same.
And was it useful? Because I believe, if memory recalls, it was Corey Nielsen who kind of, when you were looking after the Basingstoke issue happened and you were looking for ice time, he offered you the roster spot, but he wanted you to play as a defenseman. Did he just throw you in at the deep end, or was he quite a good mentor with, leading your development in that position?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be, I think, a temporary solution to play D for a few weeks. I think Danny Myers had told Corey Nielsen that I'd done it before when I hadn't. But went there for a few weeks. I think the plan was to they'd maybe release an import forward. I'd move forward, and they'd bring in an import D. But it was a bit of a whirlwind. Yeah, a couple of weeks in, I think first weekend after that, I ended up going away with the national team as a defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
And no, Corey is very good. He's a very good coach and a very good teacher. And he taught me a lot that first year. And I think it was almost the best way just to jump into it like that, and didn't really have too much time to think about it.
And just kind of finally on this career development, I asked Ben Bounds this question last year, and it's not meant to be disrespectful to the Devils. You did go to Kazakhstan and start playing there. Your performances in the Champions Hockey League last year, you could play in mainland Europe. You could play at that level. Just didn't work out for you, or the chances didn't come up as you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is very hard for a British player. I mean, things have maybe changed a little bit now with the national team being in the top group. Maybe some opportunities might open up for some younger guys. But yeah, I think over the years it has been very, very hard to move to a European league or anywhere, because of, I think there was a very bad reputation in British hockey, and that's changing now. And as I say, hopefully for some younger players, it'll be a lot easier to try their hand abroad in the future.
Right. So, Mark, you never give yourself enough credit, and I'm always looking to learn the game. You've got two defensemen, Andrew Hotham and Gleason Fournier, who have won awards next to you and always give a lot of credit your way. What's your kind of read and react when you're on a line with them? Do you wait for them to jump into the play first? Is there some sort of kind of analysis you go through when you've got those two guys playing next to you who do want to be aggressive offensively? You're a great offensive player yourself. So what's your read and react when you're playing with the likes of Hotham and Fournier?
Um, I think over the last few years, I have tried to not think too much about it, and
Okay.
that was the thing. I think maybe earlier on with playing with Hoth, I'd always think like, oh, I better be careful. I better stay back. I better, as good as Hoth, and Gleason are defensively. I kind of thought, oh, they're going to be jumping up. They're going to be jumping up. But Lordo's kind of put it into me. If you get the chance, you go, kind of thing. So, I have tried to stop thinking so much about it and just, I'd say now I kind of just react to the situation. If I have the chance to go, I go, and if Fawns has the chance to go, I just hang back.
Always enjoyable playing with those guys, or do they give you kittens sometimes when they're very aggressive jumping into the play?
Oh no, it's always enjoyable. As I say, I think with both Hoth and Fawns, I think people mostly pick out their offensive game, but they're both, very good defensively. And I've never ever felt with either of them that you have to worry about being kind of exposed. So no, as I say, they're both great.
Um, Last one from me, and I'm asking all the guys this. It seems apparently I'm obsessed with age at the moment. But Mark, you have been around for a while. We've been very fortunate to have you in Cardiff. Much like me, but still younger than me. You're the wrong side of 30, but I know you're probably the fittest guy on the team. You're always the guy Andrew Lord refers to as the role model. Does it get harder? Do you change the way you work out or diet or anything like that? Do you have to adapt your game or have to adapt your preparation to the game as the years go by?
To be honest with you, no. I think I feel as good, if not better, now than I did when I was early 20s. And that's probably come from learning more information of diets and etc. But no, as I say, I mean, I don't feel any different. I feel as good as ever, and hopefully that continues. I got many more years ahead of me.
I think we all hope you got many more years ahead of you, particularly as I've got a bet with somebody. You're the only guy who ever gets 2 testimonials for doing the full 20 years. But Mark, really never underappreciated in Cardiff. You're an outstanding servant to the club, an outstanding player in this league, and great to have you back for another year with the Cardiff Devils.
Thanks, John. Great to be back.